Hi, Kirsten. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, you were a participant in my Resource Me 2020 live course this year,
Yes.
and we've only just finished.
Mhm.
I'm wondering what drew you to take part in the course?
When I started looking for something, I didn't know I was looking for a course. I just was looking for a solution. I felt like I was on a bit of a roller coaster and I didn't know how to get off. I knew I needed to get off. I just didn't quite know how. And I'd been looking at burnout literature and I came across your website. And then when I saw the course was running, I thought I need to do this.
Great. And so when you started, what was it like for you?
At the point when I began the first week and when we were doing the burnout inventories, I was scoring so highly in the physical and the work burnout space. I was really 10 out of 10, 100% peak burnout. Um, just not functioning well at all, really struggling to get out of bed, really struggling to get through a day, um, feeling like I had no control. I couldn't guarantee whether I could keep sustaining getting up and going to work every day. I was at that point where I was really make or break.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what did you discover along the way, Kirsten?
Um, Part of it was not blaming myself so much. I certainly noticed this type of personality that's very prone to burnout, and I'm definitely that personality. It really struck a chord with me when we were talking about not being enough and having to always be overcompensating and always um, overworking to try and make up for my inadequacies. That was a classic me thing to do. Um, Realizing that it wasn't necessarily about having too much work, that it was sometimes not having the autonomy I needed or the control I needed to manage things myself. Um, Sometimes having that disparity with the expressed values compared to how I was perceiving them for myself, and that was a bit of a source of frustration for me,
Hmm.
and not feeling that that organisation fit was there for me sometimes. Yeah.
So, was it different to what you expected, Kirsten?
I think it was what I expected. I think it was what I was hoping for and what I was looking for. Um, so I think it worked well in that I could do it in my own time and at my own pace, and but there was enough coming that it kept me sort of engaged. Um, I enjoyed um, the balance. So I liked having the little videos. I liked having the check-ins. I liked then doing that little bit of theory as well. It was nice to have a bit of a balance,
Hmm.
and that worked quite well for me. It suited the way I like to learn.
Right. And I guess I'm curious about, whether it was something that you worked through that was beyond, I guess, what you might have read elsewhere. I suppose for me, I kind of feel like in the burnout space, the self-care and rest stuff gets put out a lot. And I was wondering whether you found that, okay, we did some of that,
Mm.
um, but the angle of the course maybe might have been, I don't know, did it, take a different sort of direction?
Yep, that was definitely true, and that was I think where I discovered your work in the first place was because I'd already, I'd recognized I was in a state of burnout. I had all the ticks there. Um, there's lots and lots of stuff on the internet about what causes burnout, whether it's organizations and individuals, but then there wasn't really a lot about how do you deal with it. If you're in this state, there's stuff about preventing burnout, but when you're actually in burnout, what do you do? And all I could really see was that people would leave their jobs. people would stop work and have stress leave, and I wasn't seeing, if you're stuck in this huge snowball of work and you're absolutely bogged down and you can't fight your way out of it, what
Mm,
do you do?
mm.
And that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know, how do I eat my way through this?
Mm.
And I wasn't seeing that anywhere else.
Yeah. And so, top things that you've taken away, Kirsten. What have been some of the top things for you?
Yes. I would say removing a huge layer of shame and guilt and judgment that used to come with the things I was doing at work, and being able to sit with myself and recognize my needs and be okay about that. And it's a little, I would have considered that being a bit selfish and maybe even lazy before,
Mm.
whereas I'm realizing now that it's okay for me to do that, and to accept that I need that. Recognizing the different areas that need to be resourced and topped up. And I'm able to see the ones that I already had. There were some that I had established really well, and there were others that I didn't have. Um, and I think having a better understanding of how I tick, and the things that sort of get me. There's traps and patterns and habits that I have that are unhealthy, and I've realized where some of those are and how they're impacting me, and how I can sort of change that around and be more productive, but be more balanced as well. Yeah.
That sounds so wonderful, and what a great way to finish. And you did it right in the middle as well of COVID hitting, which
The whole way, yeah, yep. And also, yeah, changing jobs midstream as well. So it was it held my hand through a really big process.
fantastic. Well,
Mm.
I loved having you on the course. It was just fantastic to watch your growth and your journey through it. So thank you for sharing your experience with me today.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.